Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to It's Only Food with Chef John Politte. Today we are going to be showing you how to make eggs Florentine with a Mornay sauce. Let's drop down here and see what our ingredients are. For our sauce, we're going to have 2 tablespoons of butter, 1.5 tablespoons of flour, 3/4 cup milk, 3/4 cup of some shredded Gruyere cheese, 3/4 teaspoon of sweet paprika, and a little bit of salt and pepper. And then for the rest of the recipe, we have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 medium shallot, 1 clove of garlic, 5 ounces of spinach, 2 eggs. Let's go ahead and move over to our stove and we'll start cooking this up. All right, as always, we have our mise en place laid out. We've got our pans, we've got our utensils, all of our ingredients. So I'm going to focus on the pan and we will begin making this recipe. All right, so you got 1 small saucepan you want to make your sauce in. That's going to be our cheese sauce or the Mornay sauce. So we're going to turn this on to a medium-high heat. We're going to add half of our butter and let that melt. All right, when that butter melts, we just want to take our flour and we want to just spread it in there and stir that up, create a little bit of a roux. Turn your heat down just a little bit. Make sure it's well blended. And then we're going to add our milk into this. Gradually stir that in as well. The rest of our milk. You want to use a whisk on this and not a spoon because the whisk will make sure it's evenly broken up. You just want to let this thicken. And while you're waiting for that, you can add your pinch of salt and pepper in there. Put our paprika in there. Got the bubbles forming around. You want to wait till they get into the middle. A little bit of bubble action. We're going to add our cheese in here as soon as it thickens. Alright, we've got the bubbles going. I'm going to turn the heat down. And I used our Gruyere cheese. I used a microplane to get it as fine as I could, and you just want to stir this cheese right into this sauce. You get yourself a nice Mornay sauce there. Once you have gotten all of the cheese stirred into it with the whisk, you can go ahead and turn your heat off and just set this off to the side. I'm going to put a lid on it to keep it warm because we're not going to need this until we're done with our other stuff. Alright, now step 2 is you want to turn your heat back on to a medium-high. You want to add your olive oil. The rest of your butter. You just want to let that melt. And when that starts to melt, you go ahead and add your shallots and your garlic. A little bit of salt and pepper in there. And we're just going to saute this up about 2 minutes. You just want to soften that garlic and those shallots up. Now, in the intro we had on our recipe, we said that we were going to use 10 ounces of spinach. This is 5 ounces of spinach. And this is the other half of that spinach because all of it wouldn't fit in the bowl. So we've got 10 there. I'm going to go ahead and add our spinach right into here. We're going to let this start to wilt. Turn your heat down a little bit too. If you want to, you can add a lid to this to help it with the steam to get it to wilt. It's a lot of spinach, but as we all know, when that wilts and breaks down, it turns into about a tablespoon. So we're going to see how much this turns into once we have it wilted. Meanwhile, I'm going to put my back burner on for our poached eggs to go. I've got the liquid in there in the pan, the water, and I've got a little bit of vinegar in there. Keep the eggs from sticking to everything. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on high, and we'll just get that to start cooking. Alright, it's starting to wilt. Let's get our tongs out here and stir it up a little bit. Go ahead and add the other half of our spinach. Might have to do this in thirds. Lid back on. And the last of it going in. Cover it back up. Alright, the spinach is wilted. See, we got about a cup of that 10 ounces. So I'm going to remove this from the heat. Slide our egg pan over. Alright, our water is boiling, so we'll go ahead and add our eggs to the poached water. Give these 2 to 3 minutes to poach up nicely. I'm going to put our toast down, and we're going to head back over to our table with all the ingredients and our components of this recipe, and we're going to build this and plate it up for you. These eggs will take about 2 to 3 minutes, but I'll meet you back over on our table so we can put this together. Alright, we've got all our components. We've got our hot sauce, we've got our eggs, and our spinach here. So I'm going to take the spinach, put it right on top of our toast points. Some of the garlic and shallots in there too. And we'll take our eggs, a slotted spoon, right out of that water. Place them right on top of the lettuce. I'm sorry, I keep saying lettuce. Of our spinach. Whisk up our sauce a little bit again. I'm just going to pour some of this right on there. I got some, snip some of these right on the top. I'm going to hit it with some breadcrumbs that I toasted off. There it is. I'm going to clean this mess up. We're going to take some really good photos of this with some music, and we're going to come back and we're going to taste it. Don't go anywhere. Alright, beautiful pictures. This looks tasty. So we'll go ahead and start with the egg here. A little sauce on there. Egg is poached perfectly. That sauce, using that Gruyere. Gruyere is an Alpine cheese, which is part of the Swiss cheese family. It's got that sweet and salty flavoring and flavor profile to it. Makes a nice Mornay. Get that smokiness from the paprika. Get a little bit of everything in here. There's a bite shot right there. How about that one? Smooth, creamy, a little bit of contrast with that breadcrumb and the toast. Then you've got that nice flavoring in that spinach. That wilted spinach gives it another layer of texture and flavor. So this is fantastic. I can't stop eating it. Quick and easy to make. Recipe is in the description box or the first pinned comment. Don't forget to check that out. Also, Eggs Florentine with a nice Mornay sauce. Simple to make, quick to make, doesn't cost much, and it's really, really good. Thanks a lot for joining us today. Take care of yourselves. See you next time.
These rappers don't listen. Well, let me show them something. You hear that beat bumping, bumping from the soul kitchen. Now what you fixing up? Good food, soul food, come and pick it up. These rappers don't listen. Well, let me show them something. You hear that beat bumping, bumping from the soul kitchen.